This morning I'm revealing a deep dark secret. This is possibly the most damaged engine block I've ever seen.
Interesting.
I've got another cracked block. I've made one video about a white engine with a cracked block, and now I'm going to make another video about another white engine with a cracked block. And guess what? They're both mine. A little background behind this engine, because from what we're showing, you're probably thinking, what on earth is this crappy engine that you've managed to find in a junk pile? Well, this engine has actually been really methodically machined and rebuilt and all the rest of it. And in all the time I've been working on 606s throughout many different engines, I have never seen one with an actually externally cracked block from freeze expansion. When we've had the sump off this just the other day, I had a good look inside to make sure there's no bore damage from the inside, and there's literally nothing. This engine was probably assembled August 2023. And that's when we did the supercharger work and all the other bits and pieces that went on it. It was all nicely painted in white, everything perfect, all machined, head redone, bearings, everything done. And before it was even started, I filled it up with the pink coolant. This tiny little pink dot of coolant was on the side of the white engine block, and I spotted it like straight away. Where's that come from, you know? Started it up, let it run, let it warm up. It obviously expanded a little bit, contracted a little bit, and this tiny hairline started to appear that started to go pink. And then that's where the escapade of bodging and welding and all the rest of it started. Very sad, because this engine is not just a normal 606 build with a turbo slapped on the side, as you've probably seen from the other videos. And if you haven't seen on the other videos, there's a full build series on this GMC going all the way back to when I first bought it, started restoring it and doing all the cab work. But more recently, there's a dyno video. And I was hell-bent that that little crack in the side of the block wasn't going to beat me putting this thing on the dyno. Because you've got to imagine, if I bite the bullet and I have to replace that engine block, think of the things that I'm going to just literally have to waste. All the gaskets, the bearings, the head. I'm probably going to reskim that. I'm probably not going to just pull it off this, even though it's not done a lot of hours. A massive amount of cost, parts, labour and everything that would literally have to go in the bin. And I'm disappointed that it slipped past, really, because normally if we were doing a customer crate engine build, this engine would have gone onto a test stand and then it would have got pressure tested before it obviously goes away, and it'd have been caught at that stage. But this, because it's my own, well, it can get tested on my dyno, in my car, in the workshop. There's no real need for it to go in the engine stand, I thought. Yep, well, it would be that one, wouldn't it? It would be the one that had the most bolted to it ever that would crack. But these things happen. I don't even know whether we're going to be able to fix it. So basically what's happened is, around this core plug, the water inside the blocks obviously had no antifreeze. It's frozen and it's cracked all around. And what this horrible mess that you can see here is a combination of trying to weld it. Tried multiple different types of welding method. Nickel rods, 308Ls, which I usually have good success with. There's another one, it's like a bronze, and you do it on an AC setting. Can't remember. Quite a few different weld methods for cast that normally work. I even did the test piece, and that worked really well. It took to it. But when I did the real thing on the engine that it actually counted on, no. Every time I welded it, it just cracked and spidered out and got worse and worse. After much frustration, I thought, I'm going to bodge this and I'm going to cover it in chemical metal. And no, you shouldn't do that at home. That's very, very naughty. If the engine's knackered anyway, what have I got to lose? So today, we're going to fix it properly. Well, the proper fix, as we all know, yes, is a replacement engine. Replacing an engine's expensive, and sometimes, like this, when an engine's had lots of expensive goods put on it, it could be saved. Can you see my amazing weld?
See a little bit of it.
It's bad, that, isn't it? It just wouldn't take to it.
No.
Everybody that does a bad weld says that.
Yeah.
Pressure's on now.
Oh.
At least it isn't one of them awful dished ones.
No.
That you tap in the middle to expand. Oh, she's out.
It's done.
We won't be needing that at all. I like the amount of rust that's inside. I think that's because I've been putting water in instead of coolant because it's been leaking so profusely. What we've got now is a little plate in behind the core plug with a thread. The back plate's been put in behind so we can bolt our plate on. So from here over to the CNC department, an engine has been placed in this CNC machine. And what we're doing now is using the Renishaw measuring probe system on our CNC to measure all this area, say we, the skillful hands of Nikita, and has made a model. Well, this is the early development of the piece that's going to go in, but there's going to be a hole in the top and a bolt's going to go through the middle and fasten it into where that core plug goes. It all sounds easy. All you need is a CNC machine, skilled man to operate it, Fusion 360, some hypermill, ramps, few spare engines. It's no big deal, anyone can do this at home. This touches the item and gives us an accurate measurement. We've measured many points all around this area. Yes, this is Play-Doh for testing clearance and tolerance. And this is the first attempt test piece. That doesn't look like something that could be a lot of work, but I promise you it really is. We've got definite contact here, and we've got definite contact down this side. What are you thinking, a little bit tighter in this area?
Areas for improvement, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it's not bad at all, is it? And then obviously plenty of clearance for this section in the centre.
Lines up as well.
Ooh.
It actually wedges itself in when you bolt it down. And
all we needed was Play-Doh. I like it, but we definitely need something cool around here. Right, what have we got then? How's it looking?
pretty uniform throughout.
That's looking good. Another little trial fit just to see if it's all touching. You see how it sits behind the mount, it's fitting into the contour of the block. We need to save this old engine, recycling its finest. This is where it's at. This is the plate. So I said, we need a pin-up girl. And Nikita was like,
What are you on about? What are you on about?
This is going to be the outcome, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's these little details that really count. The repair piece has been anodized in gold. It's going to be engraved by Nikita the Great on the CNC machine. So let's do it. I'm in position. Am I going to get squirted? Never killed anyone, did it? Bit of squirting. Yeah, boy. Oh, I can see her. She's there, look. Hang on, give her a quick blow. Give her a blow off. Yeah. Right, now lubricate it. Lubricate her immediately. How childish. The billet bit is done, and I'm quite proud of it. Backseat bingo. I wanted a 1950s saying to go with the theme of this truck, and backseat bingo made me laugh. I'm going to apply some of this. Renzosil. I was told by a two-stroke tuning man that this is the best thing since an head gasket. And I actually used it on the boat cracked block. If you haven't seen the boat cracked block, go back in time and watch my videos from about 6 months ago. Not sponsored by Renzosil. Hit me up. Right, so we need a nice even application. Now that is a thumbnail picture. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a good thumbnail. Is that enough? This is what I like to do with all my favourite billet bits, is just cover them in this awesome stuff. We should be definitely sponsored by this company. How often do these tubes of sealant get used on freshly machined billet 1950s style block repair pieces? That's what I want to know. Oh, look. Sensor safe. Can you smell that smell? It's like, it smells different since I put it on there.
Yeah.
There'll be people watching saying, no, stop. Those two chemicals are like seriously poisonous.
Yeah.
Do not apply on freshly anodized aluminium.
I do not mix with coolant.
If I mess this up and don't put enough on, all this massive effort totally wasted.
I think there's an adequate amount.
Do you think it's going to be fine?
Yeah.
It's like a Pop-Tart, isn't it? Don't eat this. Oh no, I've stuck my finger in it. Oh, fail. You see, that's what I'm worried about. If I squidge that into there now, it's going to make a right mess, innit?
Yeah.
I might have got away with it. If Nikita sees that I make a mess of this now with sealant, it's over between us.
It's only been like 2 weeks in the making.
Yeah.
Getting it anodized, engraved.
This is the nervous bit. Come on. I need the threads to start because... Oh, the threads have started. Oh. This is good. This is good stuff. Right. It's coming out though, see it squidging? Oh, it's oozing out now. Oh, it's oozing out. This is serious stuff. If I balls this, I think I probably should stop at that. It's pretty tight.
Yeah. I don't think there's a torque setting for that kind of thing.
No. Do you know when you see these videos online of somebody bathroom sealing, they make it look really neat? Yeah. I don't think I'd get paid for that. That's... We've finished gluing it on. It's now late. Probably give it till like Wednesday. It's Monday now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give it till Wednesday. I'm going to make like a little sandwich so that we can check it tomorrow. Let's make a sandwich of sort of 6 mil-ish. There.
Yeah.
We'll leave that. Put it on there. Big moment of truth now. The patch has been drying for 3.5 days. Is it going to seal or is it just going to leak? Is this going to be a disaster? There's only one way to find out. Straight in with the red because I'm so confident. Is it leaking yet? Yeah. Oh. Problem. Where's that pipe? It's the big one, isn't it? Bit of last minute tweaking. I like the way it says 12 on it. What does that stand for?
I think it's AN12.
12 American eggs.
Yeah, that is tight.
Sweet. Moment of truth 2. Now we've put all the pipes on. More red stuff. It's looking pretty reasonable. There's no signs of drippage. Put a bit more in. Go for water now. It's more used to that. It's thinner, maybe it'll find the crack. So the sealant has been drying for 3.5 days. And I did a test piece of the sealant. Be careful with knives, kids, if you're watching this. It doesn't feel very gooey. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. It's like a nicely made piece of rubber. Look how many bits of metal. Yeah, that's definitely dry, isn't it? And what thickness is that? Always got a ruler in your top pocket. The thickness is 7 mil. There won't be any bits in that are 7 mil. They should all be 1/2 mil, a mil at the most. So if that's dry, we're safe. We've done the scientific test there. Always do a test patch. Right, more coolant. More coolant equals less rust. This means that I might have like a supercharged and turboed GMC that doesn't have a broken engine. Is it all coming out? Have a look at the side of the block. Any drippage? The real test is going to be when we start it up and warm it up. The test that separates the men from the boys. I'd like to make it very clear as well. This engine did not freeze under my watch. I purchased this engine with a frozen block. I did not. Hang on. Disclaimer. After I realised it was a cracked block, yes, I did just put water in. That may mislead people into thinking that I put water in the first place and freezing it. Anyway, I bought this engine as a knackered engine and I couldn't sell it to customers, so I rebuilt it for myself. And that was foolish. I should have thrown it in the bin. The big moment of truth. The coolant is in, the oil's in, the new sump is on, even though the sump wasn't an issue. Oh, let's have a look. Fuel pump on. What pressure we got? 30 psi. Volts 11.25. Oh. It started. Where's the oil pressure? Slightly concerned about that. There's no oil pressure. No, there's no oil pressure. Just checking that the oil pressure switch is still connected. Yeah, that's all still on. Small technical interlude. Sump has been replaced while this work was being done because I wanted to put my new style sump onto another vehicle, onto another engine to test it, because I like to test my products thoroughly. This is a great platform to test the product on. However, when you change an oil pump, usually all the oil drains right out the block, and we've also done filter change as well. So I'm not getting any oil pressure when I first started it up, and I'll be honest, it worries me. What I'm doing is I'm taking the oil pressure sensor out, let that drain into there. There's not much, to be honest.
Now we're going to pump some fluids.
It does take a while. Yeah, so basically it should push oil in, push the air out of the oil pump and then just work.
Is the idea to get it like so that it blows all the air in?
No, it's as soon as you see like some bubbles coming in, you just turn it off.
Yes.
But my best advice to you
Yes.
is don't unplug it straight away.
But what's it called? Bukake.
I know, right.
Did you hear it?
That was a familiar sound.
Oh, just finger tight. We're going to try again. Hopefully now we'll have oil pressure. Right, let's start it up and see what happens. Right, camera on, oil pressure at my end. Let's see what happens. Waiting for the preheat. Still nothing. Still nothing. Now the question is, can I get to that one under the oil pressure? Got the torch? Yeah, just shine it at that. You should see it leaking out around this housing area. It's kind of like the bottom of that housing that you'll see it. Right, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, yeah.
What, did it just start?
Come at the right, it's come at the left.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you need to see. If you have a situation where you're not building up oil pressure, you need to crack that housing off. There must be like a big air bubble that sits behind it. The question is, that gasket that's been used once before, you know what I'm thinking? Yeah. Start up number 3. Why are you so far away? Steven Spielberg.
No, I'm thinking where
He's used to fucking dinosaurs, T-Rexes, cars jumping over buildings, and then I'm there. I'm in the distance somewhere. Are we good to go? So this is attempt number 3. I'm hoping that there will be some bearings left on the crank. Right, ignition on. Wait for the glow plugs again. Turn on the fuel pump again. Oh, straight away this time. We got the oil pressure. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I'm happy now because we have oil pressure. And that's really good. We're not too bothered about the oil pressure situation now because that's fixed. But what we are bothered about is, did it work? Did it work? Give it a few revs, try and warm it up a little bit. 71.9 currently. Oil pressure's still good. And we're just trying to build some heat up to get some pressure into that block. I want to build up some pressure and see if this plate, has it really worked or is it a fail? There's something about giving a supercharged 600 plus horsepower 606 a few licks. It's pretty satisfying. Give him an exhaust shot. Is there any pressure in the system yet? Yes. Yes. There's a lot of pressure in the system. Shall I turn it off and we'll review? 2 cameras on the go again. I'm gonna flick it between the 2, like some Kanye shit. Somebody squeeze that hose to verify that I'm not lying. There's pressure in there. It's tight, that, isn't it? You can't really show that on cam. Bit we're bothered about, the only bit we're bothered about is the block leaking? Did it work or didn't it? Well, let's have a look. Yeah, no leakage around the bolt. Zoom in a bit. Give him a bit of Steven Spielberg. And then at the top there, nothing. Thanks to him for machining it. Thanks to him for cleaning and fitting it. Thanks to me for giving everybody this challenge and using a block that I probably should have thrown in the bin. It's running and we're on the dyno. This is the exciting time. It's make or break, death or glory. Are you a millennial? What's that then?
Gen Z.
Oh, Gen Z. Is it going to catapult its coolant all over? It's about up to temperature now. I've put on the bigger supercharger pulley. As you can hear, it's running, but it's not whining. What happened? I fucked up. You meant to click it into neutral after a run, but remembered it's a reverse manual valve body, and I would have had to have gone through second and first to get to neutral. So I clicked it down 1, realised my mistake, and then held on as I nearly went down the pit. We'll do that again. Did it blow the coolant out though? It's looking good. No leakage so far. Attempt number 2. We haven't blown the coolant out yet, so we're winning so far, aren't we? And it's Friday afternoon, we all should be probably gone home by now, but this is cool shit. And I nearly just went down the pit. Right, let's try again, shall we? Let's get a good run in. Supercharger, microphone, camera, supercharger, Mad Max. Nice, nice. Did you enjoy that? Did you get the supercharger pulley and everything?
Belt going round and round and round and round, you know?
Yeah, I know. I've gained an engine today, haven't I? Success. Awesome, awesome. The block fix worked. Have a look. So look, no leakage. You need to kind of show them down there. Show them underneath
Show them
there.
on the bottom, because that's where it would leak too, wouldn't it?
Go right under that rail.
Bingo.
No leaking. That is where the original leak is. You can see there's no leak on that flange. And there is, look, hang on. No coolant on the floor. So that's a great success. Very good success. We win this time. Before you go, wait, just wait, stop, wait, don't go anywhere. The other runs that we did were with the wastegate unplugged. We've got a giant turbo, so we can get away with not running a wastegate. Most of you at home don't. You do need a wastegate. We were a bit horsepower down, and we can't leave this rodeo without making the most horsepower that we can on the settings that we've got. So, before you go, let's do one last hit, one last go for England. Let's do it for England. To the microphone man who's going to capture the exhaust clip. You get the valve opening. Boom, I want to see boost transition. You're going to see it, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see from supercharger. When that flap opens, it means that the turbo is sucking harder than the supercharger can blow, and it then takes its own air. It's an amazing system. It's not powered, it's passive. Look it up. I'm assuming the pipe popped off for the boost sensor. Has it popped off? No. That's quite worrying. Dynos are awesome. Computer controlled, you know. Yeah, no, it hasn't popped off. Yes. So even more torque. So 628 pounds-feet of torque, which nobody cares about, and 410 wheel horsepower. 574 at the engine. That's nice. Hang on, I'll just turn it off. It feels like I'm listening in high definition. The red is just now in the cold of winter. What temperature is it, by the way? Is that right? 11 degrees? That can't be right. It feels a lot colder than that. It's probably 11 degrees over there where the weather station is. Yeah. Yes, so there you go. Look, yeah, you can see the difference. So 24 degrees when I tested it last time, and this is the difference that we've got. The setup's basically the same, apart from now it isn't blowing the coolant out, and it was then a little bit. Chemical metal, it turns out, isn't a particularly good fix for a broken block. But a nicely machined piece of aluminium is. That's what we've learned, isn't it? It is. So 410 wheel horsepower, 574 at the engine, and I think that's great. And that is with the larger supercharger pulley, so we slowed it down a bit, because so many people complained. Oh, it sounds like a fire engine, it sounds like this, it sounds like that. What do you expect a supercharger to sound like? Can't hear it over the tears of the haters. I love the haters. They're all welcome here. Thanks a lot, guys, and remember, don't do crack.